This week is a layup week. I've got to get 4 of these done. And I'm working today. This is all prepped in. These are the addendums I was talking about. So these are bolted in. For these types of setup things, I use these quarter 20 bolts. I have acorn nuts bonded into the mold to place them. This one's a quarter 28. This is going to locate this is the post for the control bell cranks. It's just going to cantilever out here about this far, and this addendum here creates an 1/8 of an inch flange. I just needed to control that flange depth, and then there'll be another piece of aluminum that goes out over the top of this and completely controls that width of flange, because this is the mating surface to the fuselage rails. So I need to tightly control that area, and the easiest way, this is my ethos, is to do it in the tool. So that's what's going on here. This is the prep for all of that. This is actually a pretty complicated piece. There's a lot of crap here, lots of different things, but when it comes out, it'll be ready to drill holes and install. And over here on the table is the foam prep. This is the back. This area here is cut out for the main landing, or the front landing gear tunnel. These areas contain the hard points for the seat belts, the lap belts, and this is going to be a hard point for the bell crank post. These are all cut in around the seat belt hard points. That's why they have those shapes. Anyway, it'll all become self-evident when it's laid up, but right now I've got to get to it. This whole week is about laying up all of this prep that I have. This is all the prep for the reinforcements for the fan. Under there is the remaining prepared materials for the horizontal stabilizers, which I have to chew through. Underneath this is also a bunch of prep. Some of it's for the second pressure recovery cone and the second there's a lot of stuff. The second pressure recovery cone, and then this whole assembly here, the instrument pod assembly. That's the word I'm looking for. So I got to make another one of those, and then I can freely start making other parts. But I've got to get all this prep done. So that's what's happening this week. I'm just putting my head down, treating this like a production line, and getting to it. 6 hours later. A bomb has gone off in here, but there is a part in the bag. It was a butt kicker, not gonna lie. A lot of detail work, a lot of hard points, but no more of a butt kicker than was expected. I think it was about a 6-hour lamination, and really needs to be a 2-person lamination. Should go in 3 hours, but the prep alone was a day. But it's a complete part. It's got all the features in it, all the hard points, enough union here to take 40 G's. Should be able to pop it out, trim it, drill holes, and install it. At least that's the plan. What do you think, Katie?
We will find out in 12 hours.
12 hours, we will know whether it was wasted or not. God, I hope it's not wasted.
Hopefully not.
We're pulling almost, we're pulling 25 now. I think there's probably some leaks. We had to make a bigger bag. But I can deal with 25. 26 is, full Monty here, but we don't know what the barometric pressure is either, so we could be pulling the whole thing. All right. Be morning after. See what we got. Looks pretty good. Those got to come out. Stand by for a sec. That went roughly to plan. Made a nice addendum. We'll trim it all the way to that corner. The other side is also right in there. No flux fill. Next thing to do is get a weight on this thing. Looks good though. Got unis, unidirectional material all the way up and down, all the way across, all the way across. And over, so there's 10 unis here, and then 4 unis, 2 under and 2 over the core to pull up onto to take the shoulder loads. And so there's 10 unis here, 4 cross plies at 12 unis, plus 2 bids. That ought to be plenty for the shoulder strap loads. And down in here, there is, I forgot, there's a ton of ply right here. That will be for the belt loads and for the rear seat passengers. And I got a little bonded bleeder here, which sucks, but what are you going to do? Grind it out is what you're going to do. On the other side, it looks pretty good. It's pretty clear. I didn't get great compression into some of these corners. I'll have to work on that for the next one. But I can live with it. The back looks good. Compression into the corners where it counts. This side looks better. Tooled in this. This actually has threads in it. Clean that up, and that has quarter 28 threads. I will punch those threads out to quarter 28 heel coil, and that will be the post for all of the bell cranks. And right here, can't see it, but right here and right here, there's a 36 ply pad making up a 1/4 inch of thickness. This is where the control rod, well, the control slider goes in on this side, and the throttle quadrant slider goes in on the other side. Altogether, very successful part so far. A couple little gotchas, but nothing fatal. Clean it up, trim it, and this is not just a seat. This is the intersection of all things that are holy. This is the human interface. All the primary controls bolt onto it. It is the structural load-bearing interface for crash protection. Lots of stuff going on here. This is why this took 6 hours to lay up and a full day of prep. 80% pleased. Maybe 85. Alright, about to jump into this thing. See you in about an hour. Many hours later. Yeah, didn't take an hour. Let's see, what did I get? 10. Yeah, I think that was 3. Once again, grossly underestimating the enormity of the task. But it's a good part. Got full vacuum. It's moving lots of resin. The hard point is in. It was sanded with wet resin and wrapped in 1 ply of fiberglass to keep any galvanic corrosion from happening, and put in place with its fixturing, and an addendum was put in there to make the return. I'll show all that when I pop it out. Yeah, it worked pretty good, and looks like it's going to be an excellent part. We'll have to see when we pop it out tomorrow. Alright. This addendum has to get popped out. Looks pretty good. It's a little fat though. I mean, it's by fat I mean it's a little resin rich. I think on the next one I'm going to just be a little bit more conservative with my resin usage. But it's pretty. Okay, just good diligent hand layup. And this hard point is integrated in there. There's a bushing buried inside there with a couple of bronze bushings on the end of it, and then a large aluminum bushing. And this part will get knocked off to create inside flange. This is about 4 pounds. Actually, I think it's more than that. It's a little heavier than I want. But it's pretty, and it has to take 500 inch-pounds of torque, so it's going to weigh what it weighs. Altogether, pretty nice part. It's got one little bit right here where I didn't get great compression into the corner. But I'm just going to let that be. The rest of it is really pretty beautiful. Got a little bit here, a little bit here. On that, very nice part. What's going on, Rick?
Hey, how you doing?
What you doing?
We're repairing the damage we did
Yes.
a few weeks ago, well, a month ago, on this drive channel. I forget what you call it
That looks
exactly.
good. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the channel to locate the center shaft in the pressure recovery cone inside the fan.
Tore it
And-
up a little bit, so we're just repairing, doing
Right.
some little repairs.
Yeah.
Good as new.
Yep, actually better. So, screwed up a little, and I did actually build in a capture, so Rick has fixed the capture here. And so these are to carry the bushings, which we'll CNC them. We'll try that on the snap maker in Durlin. It should be able to do that pretty easy. So he's repaired all of that, which looks really, really good. I'm preparing to make another set of these. These are all prepped. I'll get to this next week. And this part, so beautiful and yet so wrong. Came out beautiful, but I screwed up 5 years ago, and this gap is unacceptable. So we're going to have to move that flange down, and the way we're going to do it is the cheap and cheerful way. I have ordered in 1/4 inch sheet wax, and we're just going to apply it here because this is out of position by a full 1/4 of an inch. I'm not even sure how I did it, but it was a long ass time ago. Anyway, came out beautifully. All of this worked beautifully. These hard points are real nice. Just have to touch the spot face of this to expose the bushing again. But all of that worked great. It's just that it doesn't fit. So, fuck. We'll use it for setup. We'll use it, we have to tool a bunch of holes, and we'll get the most out of it. When you have a failure like this, you try and get the most out of it, and then try and get the next ones integrating everything you learn. Anyway, that's just how I look at it. This shit happens. Anyway, the next big push is the vertical stabilizer. So this mold is done, but it still needs a lot of love, and the foam is still causing me heartache, and it's caused it to shrink and shape change, so I have to deal with this. It's not much. I think I can just strong back that, but I have to take a good, careful look at the inside because I've had this foam push into these flat spots and kill the OML, so I may end up digging all that foam out. And then we're to the big stuff. This is about 12 feet of tool. And this is the top rear spine of the aircraft, from the firewall here all the way to the rudder post back there. And then the rudder and the vertical stabilizer, which is this, fits on it. We're going to lay this up in one part. It's going to be tricky all at the same time. So there won't be any joints in this, and we're going to integrate the top as well. We'll put a plate across here as we do, and it'll integrate the top bulkhead, if you will, or former. And then the rest of this will be hollow. It'll be 3/8 core for stiffness, and then we'll probably put a false rib inside. The reason I want to do it that way is this is going to be the antenna farm. It's going to be made out of 7725 glass. And this will also be fiberglass. This is the only real fiberglass part in it. This is the spar mold, and it is there. Comes apart in the way that we do these molds. There's an addendum on the back, and you just break this thing apart and it comes out. This will be 7781 glass. We need this to be electrically transparent because we're going to bury as many antennas in this part of the airframe as we can. Anyway, that's about it. All right, we'll see you next week. Yeah, you're still going to get this printing, and by the way, in the sun, it's going to be hot as the hubs of hell.
Yeah, well, and that's something we need to kind of work out too.
Yeah.
But so we've got 3 inches of padding under the butt.
Mm-hmm.
Got 1.5 inches under the forelegs up front.
Right.
This is a 1-inch pad. This is a 2.5-inch pad. And we've kind of concluded that the 2.5-inch pad sucks. So
1-inch pad
we're
is
going to go with the 1 inch.
Yeah. Everything in the CAD is set up off of 1 inches, so that's going to be perfect. Yeah.
The last debate is how we want to do the sides. We want to do just a straight door with maybe some cover.
So the way I imagine this going is that this is not a door. We simply leave that open, and then you cover from here to there, and we just print it, and then just do it as a full thing. That's how I saw that going. That way it's real easy when we need to get into the hellhole here.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need to hook shit up in there, and then we need to be able to inspect it. We talked about maybe making it clear, but I don't think we need to do that. We just need to cover it with upholstery and then pull the upholstery to get to it.
So yeah.
So that's how I see that going.
So we can make a full panel and go from there and see
full
see
panel,
what we think,
right? And then decide whether or not you want. I think you probably
full panel. Then we're not going to have hip pads.
I don't think you need them.
Well, no.
You know,
And that's why the one door didn't even it had
Yeah, I think
had a pad and I didn't like it.
yeah,
so.
I think it holds you a little too tight. This pad right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you just do a light padding on the sides, and then some lumbar on the back, and I think it's going to be good. It feels pretty good sitting down.
So,
And that's as wide as I can make it.
which it's fitting us, so that's
Okay, that's really all that matters. Yep.
So this is the $1 per yard.
That's what we want, man. What's our motto? Fail early, fail cheap.
Yes. It's in the trash can because I did not like it. One is to just do a straight arrowhead kind of shaped
Right.
pad.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah. Just
The other thought I had that I keep moving back to is same arrowhead shape minus a cut out of the middle here, something like that.
right.
Because whenever you're sitting in these airplanes, the thing that sweats the most is your back bolt.
Okay.
And we would have a little bit of a gap here that would
Okay.
basically allow a little air in there.
I'm for trying that because any pressure you can take off the backbone is a good thing, and you put the pressure on the muscles there.
So
Yeah. Play with all of that.
that was the next thing I needed to work with, is to kind of figure out how we wanted to do
Why don't you
this.
just play with this today? I think I'm going to try and lay this shit up, but I may not get to it because the 3D printer needs a little bit crapped out, and I need to get it started again. But this is the next push.
And then I do like two pads here.
Okay, yeah,
Because it makes it just so much easier to cover it.
and I think that's perfectly logical. And there's a marked bend there anyway, so yeah. Other than that, just keep it simple, and I think it's going to be good. I'm fucked.
Oh, I can't say that on YouTube. Sorry.
We say it all the time.
But what we were discussing is, first thing we were discussing is basically a glove compartment for in-flight,
Right.
which we're going to basically have two fasteners up here. The dash will just simply come down, sit on your lap.
Well, the
And
center of it, we're thinking.
the
The two sides will be
Be
fixed.
fixed, but
Right.
and then you'll be able to get in there to,
Gloves or whatever.
gloves or whatever. There's a shocking amount of room in there, and there's not a whole lot in the way of systems that goes in there.
No, there's just an HVAC module take up the last third of it.
Hand me that iPad right behind you.
Yep.
So basically, what you'll have is something along these lines, and this will just tip down like that.
Yeah, I like that.
So this will be your iPad down here, and radios are here. We were discussing then also the headrests
Yeah.
back here. At least in the early days, we're going to be wearing helmets, so that's going to give us a good inch and a half of padding. So we'll actually have our head resting against this. And even after we're not wearing helmets, this is still pretty comfortable if you just want to lean back and close your eyes for a minute while the other person flies.
Yeah, we can address that with padding.
Yes, and we're talking for this back pad of it coming up and actually coming over and bolting in with the shoulder straps, so it'll be all one nice unit. So I think
Yeah, I like
I
that.
think it's going to be a very nice, comfy.
And for aerobatics and testing, this thing is designed around the long softy.
Yeah.
I mean, those things suck to sit on, but sometimes you need to.
Yeah. But
for the 6-hour mission,
we're also looking at the 6-hour cockpit here, so armrests, power levers. We've got the tensioners for the controls, so that you can set your power basically lock it,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll stay. It won't. The power won't move. Control stick, at least until we get the autopilot in.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that too. It's just a matter of. Actually, I did rough in servos in CAD right here, but I cut this flange back because we're not there yet.
Yeah.
But this is a place that we can mount those servos, and then they can just go onto the bell cranks right here. I don't think it'll be that difficult actually.
No, it shouldn't be.
It's just a matter of cost. Okay, it's
fortunately the cost of a wing leveler and an altitude hold autopilot has come down.
It's still
massively.
It's still $5,000 no matter how I cut it.
But that's better than the $20,000 it used to be.
Yes, that's true.
And
Just a Garmin or an S-Tech or something.
I think for this airplane, a wing leveler, so it'll follow heading and follow and hold altitude.
Well, my original thought was the True Track Gemini. Was it the Gemini? It was the one that was the MDF. All right, it had, but they got bought by King, so I don't know what the hell they call it now. And so,
so we'll have to.
We'll let things mature a little bit because there may be something coming up on the horizon. It's either that or just Garmin.
Can rarely go wrong with Garmin.
You really can't. They really have their stuff together.
And if you want to sponsor us, Garmin, you're more than welcome to.
We have a total of 50 subscribers. We're reaching literal dozens of people. Okay, so back seat. It doesn't come up on camera because it's kind of a fisheye, but I can see perfectly the flight instrument and the engine instrument. And so we need to find just like an iPad mini or something right here. Maybe we'll just make a little bracket and hang it off here. And then you've got basically everything that you have in the front, with the exception of the radios. But this is never going to be flown solo from the back seat. It's not that kind of airplane. Solo front seat only. Or it will sit on its tail.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we have a cockpit of a sort.
We do.
And it shall continue to evolve.
Dial it in with the cushions. I think it's going to be really a nice place to be for a good solid 6 hours without chiropractic work afterwards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool.